Coronation Street, due to begin filming again next week, follows, of course, Emmerdale, which is already back in production. And join me now to explain how it is all going to work is ITV's Managing Director of Continuing Drama, John Whiston. John, it is so good to see you. I love the Corrie wood sign at the back. Absolutely fantastic. That is very apt. Great to see you, and this is good news.
Yeah, it's great news. I mean, it's great for me just to be back in the office. And we've been doing so much work to get ready to come back. I mean, we were determined not to go off air. And I think if we get back early next week, we'll manage that. We've been putting in all sorts of things, new protocols. We've got the 2-meter distance is going to be sort of paramount. We've got people with poles who will go around prodding actors to make sure that they stay 2 meters from each other, and cameramen. We put, well, actually, one of them, our production manager, has got a retractable pole that he was given as a present, a 2-meter retractable pole, right, which he'll whip out. But we've also got, we put shields on the camera, perspex shields, sure, kind of like a motorcycle cowling. We've had to make a lot of this up ourselves because there is no real guidelines for it. Guidelines have now come out, but you know, when we were starting, no one had done drama in a socially distanced way. So, for example, when somebody is handling a letter, the other cast member can't handle the same letter. So if they have to give it to them, they have to put it down on the table. We have to stop filming, take that letter away, put another letter in its place for the other cast member to pick up. It's that sort of thing that you don't think about.
Yeah, it's that sort of attention to detail. You're absolutely right in every single scene. Now, Emmerdale, they're already back. They're already filming. How has that been going? Is it? I mean,
it's brilliant. I mean, the scripts are great, and you know, they went through the same kind of the people who are in lockdown, the characters in lockdown, went through all the same things that we went through: rejection, denial, anger, fun, all the things that we've all been going through. So it's kind of nice to see our characters sharing that. But what I'm delighted about is that it doesn't look like everyone's 2 meters away from each other. In fact, I think I'll get complaints that, hey, those two people were too close to the 2 meters. Actually, it's just the way you put the cameras, how you stage it. Everybody has been safely socially distanced, but they look great. The episodes look great. Mind you, I'm not sure which house I would have liked to have been in for lockdown. Certainly not Kane and Aaron, I don't think.
No, I don't. No, I agree with you 100%. Although they are so excited. Jeff and Danny are so excited to be back. And here's what they had to say about filming resuming.
Hi, we're here back filming Studio One, adhering to all the rules, everything's in place. It's a very strange way of working, but nonetheless, it's still going to be Emmerdale and be brilliant.
Yeah, yes, exactly what Jeff just said. We're back and we're here to be safe.
No, it's really good. And you can see social distance observed, whoever it was with the prodding, they did really, really well.
You can also see my biggest problem right there with Aaron's haircut. Most of the cast, for some reason, decided to shave their heads, and all the female cast decided to dye their hair puce, which is a problem when everyone's coming back to work. Yeah, how did his hair get like that? So we've had to put in quite a lot of lines taking the piss out of his hair.
Yeah, exactly. No, quite right too. Right. Now, also, Coronation Street, as we said, next week starts back. Are you going to be referencing all of this in the storylines? Because you've got a really tough job, because you have to obviously film so far ahead that events could take over, so you almost have to have a crystal ball to try and guess what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. I mean, I think our audience do give us some latitude. I mean, there was some research that came out, and one of the people said, well, if they were just doing normal social distancing, all that would happen is somebody would go down to Deb's once a day, which I thought was exactly right, and that it wouldn't be all that interesting. So we will be referencing it, but we'll be doing it kind of relatively lightly. The Rovers will be a takeaway place. Right. The cafe will do takeaway. So our communal sets will work in that kind of way. And, you know, you'll see the odd person wearing a mask. If things loosen up, then obviously it's easier for us to build that into the scripts when we're filming than to build lock-in into our scripts. So we will be reflecting the pandemic. The underworld may indeed be making PPE equipment.
Oh, right, OK. Well, that again, that's reflecting the world around us. And that's the thing about both Emmerdale and I think Coronation Street in particular, is that sort of reflecting what's going on in the outside world, but it's all about the characters. It's not sort of like issue-led. It always comes from the characters, even in the most controversial storylines that have been tackled. And an awful lot of research is always done. When I talk to the actors, they've all done their homework, as well as the producers, directors and scriptwriters. Everybody has done that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've seen that with the Jeff Yasmin story, which I know, the timing with domestic abuse being on everybody's agenda at the moment. Has in a way been good for the story, but it's also, I think, helped people a lot to see it. And we've certainly had a huge number of letters in about that particular story. And as you say, that was totally based on going out there into the community, getting the research from people. But also, I think it's just the normality. We've had lots of people saying, look, it's my one little bit of normality in the day, and I really appreciate that you're still on. I mean, I found that myself. You sit there, you watch the government pronouncements, you watch the news at 6, and then you watch the ITV news, and then you watch the channel. You just need something that takes you out of it.
Totally. And it's that, but that's why it's so beautifully done, because it's escapism in that sense, but still so very relatable. Because you can say, oh yeah, well, I felt like that. I mean, we'll probably see characters maybe with a little bit more reflection, maybe thinking about things the way that we all are. That's the thing. It is a mirror to us.
Absolutely, and certainly you see that in the Emmerdale lockdown apps a lot. People thinking about their relationships, reassessing things. You even see Kane trying to say the word sorry, which obviously doesn't succeed, but he tries.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it will be a slightly different, slightly kinder world, certainly. I mean, Corrie always is about kindness at its heart, but I think that will come to the fore in the coming weeks.
What about, though, you're talking about Corrie, what about the stalwarts, the veterans, the people who are at the very, very heart of Coronation Street? I mean, I'm thinking about Barbara Knox, who plays Rita, Bill Roach, who plays Ken, of course, and Sue Nichols, who plays Audrey. These incredible characters, but of course, in real life, as indeed in the soap, they would be high risk. So are they not, will we not see them? Are you going to somehow try and weave them in?
I mean, obviously, it's their safety that we're most concerned about. But Coronation Street wouldn't be Coronation Street without some of those characters in it. And we will do whatever we can to film them safely. Maybe we'll we were talking about having some scenes where they're at home can film themselves. I think at the moment, following the government guidelines, there's a process to go through to see whether or not any of our clinically vulnerable cast can come back, and we'll go through that process. But if they can't come back into the studio, we'll find some way of bringing them into the show that's safe to do. Unfortunately, for a while, we won't have many children in the show because children come with extra people, chaperones and tutors. So it's going to be a bit like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, with the town square. Won't have
They're all gone. They're all away.
Children. But yes, you're right. I mean, the senior people in our cast are really important to the show. So we're determined to find some way of getting them in their presence in the show. No,
very much. So even if it's just like the way we're all communicating with our parents, I'm certainly doing that because my parents are in Scotland and we're having to communicate either just on the phone, as everyone does, or, on WhatsApp, or FaceTime or Skype or something. And maybe there's ways that they can do that. That might be an option. I mean, it's maybe not ideal, but it would be better than not seeing them at all.
Absolutely. And we are thinking of that, and we're looking at putting it into scripts.
Sure. But it's very much all about the safety of cast and crew. I mean, everybody is so excited to be back. And that actors are very touchy-feely, so it's going to be really difficult for them not to be cuddling, but they're not allowed. And there's not going to be any of that. There's not going to be any affairs. Or if there are affairs, we will just, it might just be off. We won't see it.
I mean, I think it's more like going back to the 1920s in Hollywood when, if two people went into a bedroom, then you'd see waves crashing on a sea or a train going into a tunnel or fireworks going off. I think we'll have to use our imaginations a little bit. But I think we'll have a lot of smouldering, and our actors are particularly good at smouldering.
Well, smouldering is fine, and sometimes that's better. Sometimes smouldering is all you need.
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, look, as you said, it's fantastic that they're not going to go off the air. I mean, I know episodes have been reduced. You know, it's gone down to like maybe twice a week or perhaps 3 times a week. But at least you say, you know, well done to all of you for actually staying on air.
Like daytime, you know, you've stayed on all during this time. We're learning a lot from you, and we have learned a lot from you. So hopefully we'll put into a thing, and we'll, you know, get back to 6 a week on each of the shows as soon as we can.
It'll be great. John, thanks ever so much for talking to us this morning. It's great to see you. I do want a Corrie Wood sign behind me from now on. I think that's the way ahead. It's like, do you remember the mural? Do you remember Hilda's mural? And then she had the ducks. Oh, wonderful, wonderful stuff. Thank you so much, John. Great to talk to you. Thank you. And good luck to everybody from Emmerdale, of course, who are filming, and Coronation Street next week. Good luck.